Hello my friends, welcome back to another video. Just kidding, I'm not a cat now. I'm not a cat. You have anything to say for yourself? Hates it. Okay. Hello my friends, welcome back to another video. And yet another new released horror film. Today I'll be talking about Hokum.
I think there's someone down here. Can you hear me? Get me out of here, man!
When novelist When novelist Ohm Bowman retreats to a remote Irish inn to scatter his parents' ashes, he's consumed by stories of a witch that haunts the honeymoon suite. Hubba hubba. Soon, disturbing visions and a shocking disappearance force him to confront dark corners of his past. The folk horror movie stars Adam Scott of Succession fame, which I haven't actually watched because I tried to and it was really boring. So he'll always just be Derek from Step Brothers to me.
Bow, bow, I'm Derek, and I can sing high like that.
And directed by Irish director
Damien McCarthy. I'm going to direct a movie. I'm Irish. To be sure, wish me a pot of gold.
Yeah, I do accents. His previous two horror films, Caveat and Oddity, were also really popular releases in past years. Caveat in particular has been a real hidden gem that people have been recommending for a while, so I should probably get on that and watch it at some point. Review coming soon. Probably not, I'll forget. I'm not sure who decided to release every horror movie slated for the year in April and May, but at the moment, spooky season has certainly come early. I am slightly worried that October's going to be a bit of a flop because at the moment, it's looking emptier than a proper 12 bottle when Conor McGregor's around. Bit of context and a bit of story time. I went and watched this movie on a fine Friday afternoon by my lonesome.
Oh, what a loser!
Sometimes daddy's just gotta treat himself. And I must have attended what was meant to be a ladies' night at the cinema. Luckily, they weren't all going to see Hokum. I don't think that's really their vibe. But the cinema complex itself was absolutely chock full of ladies. Anywhere from like teenagers all the way to ladies on the older side. And I don't think I've ever had more women look at me in my life, ever. Collectively. And at one point when I was strolling through with my medium popcorn and drink, I did feel like they were all going to start hissing at me or something. Chicas are scary. But I should probably talk about the movie Hokum. Now, the first thing I'll say about this movie, if you're planning on going and seeing it, firstly, I did really enjoy it overall. But I think a good way to go into this film is viewing it as if it was a horror novel. And not a movie that has been adapted from a horror novel, more like a horror novel that is playing out on screen. Huh? I know that sounds weird, but once you see the movie, it will make sense. I found early on that I was really struggling with character dialogue and even the way people were acting. A lot of it was like, this is really over the top, but I think it was intentional for this to almost play out like a story. Adam Scott's character in particular, some of the things he does and the way he acts, he's like a massive asshole in this movie.
Don't be fucking rude.
If you've ever been to Europe and there's been Americans around, just imagine that obnoxiousness turned up to 11. But just some of his actions and how mean he was to people,
I don't care that you broke your elbow.
was literally something you would get out of like an edgy horror novel. But to be fair, it was genuinely really entertaining and his performance overall was really good. He follows that trend of funny comedic actors being able to deliver extremely good performances in darker films. And all the supporting cast, I wasn't familiar with a lot of them, but the supporting characters in general were really endearing and they were really great. Everyone does a really solid job in this movie. And I've got to give this movie a lot of credit in the horror department as well. For someone who's really critical of jump scares and how cheap they can be, this movie is one of the rare cases where the jump scares really add to the story and they don't feel forced. They were done really well and in unexpected ways. They didn't have that classic music make you lose control. That classic music build up and then bam, loud noise. or the fake out, it's going to make you jump here, but then it actually doesn't, and then it makes you jump at something else. It was more like it would just naturally flow with the story that something fucking pops out and scares the bejeebers out of you. Not me, because I'm very brave. No, but like a nerd, I have a notepad while I watch movies so I can jot little notes down. I was writing a note and it made me jump so much I went, it was like a defensive position. I was ready to like start stabbing someone. And fortunately, there was no ghosts around because they would have been dead times 2.
I can't let you get close.
The atmosphere definitely adds to the scariness of this film, and that is aided by the Irish forest, woods. I don't know what they call it over there. Are we still recording? Good, because this is gold. It's funny, at one point in this movie, one of my fellow solo queuers got up and left, and I was like, oh, he's legitimately rage quit the lobby, but he actually went and just got another wine, which is also another valid trauma response. That joke was dedicated to all the 40-plus-year-old mums. I know you loved that joke. You're not the cool mom, you're just an alcoholic. But overall, there's some genuinely really good scares to be found in this movie. There's a particular scary person thing, kind of looks like a furry, which you know freaked me out.
I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
Genuinely really scary. Almost could have been used too much, but I think just the right amount. It was good. It was good. I think any more and I would have pooped my pants, and nobody liked that. Overall, once again, I did really enjoy this movie. There were some things in it that did bother me. There was some decisions by characters that popped up, and I was a bit like, would someone really do that? No spoilers as well, but there's a point in the movie that there is police looking for a certain person, and they've been looking for this guy for weeks. They can't find him. They just don't know where he is. He's a ghost. He's gone. They'll never find him. Hide and seek master. But of course, our main character wanders around and finds him within 5 minutes. You know, like that. Like he didn't even travel far to find him. Like he just walked out the door and he's like, oh, there he is.
You're behind the couch.
How do you know that?
I can see your feet.
Another thing that did bother me is our main character does have some trauma, don't we all? And that trauma does get trickled in through the movie, and it is really interesting. It is quite obvious what happened, at least it was to me, but I am also very big-brained and smart, so I don't know about the rest of you guys. But by the end, it doesn't pay off at all, and it kind of felt forced in. Like maybe, I know I did just say I'm very intelligent, but I was lying. I'm not sure if I just like didn't connect dots, but it just felt a bit like, remember this? It all ties together, right? Don't know. And the third act for me, and this is a common trend in horror movies, they are really hard to end, was not as strong as the other two. Still good, still enjoyable, but just not as strong. But like my father, this movie didn't stick around very long. Daddy, where are you? Coming in at 108 minutes, which I think is in that like horror movie sweet spot. I think anything beyond that, like getting to that 2-hour mark, is a bit much and it can sort of drag. But another solid entry from Daniel McCarthy. I do think if you liked his past movies or you're a fan of like folk horror witchy sort of films, this is definitely going to be up your alley. I don't think it's going to blow anyone's socks off. It's certainly not one of the best movies I've seen this year or even the best horror movie I've seen this year. But it is a really good solid film. I would give it a worth the ticket price out of 10. And you know how expensive those are these days. But that's been my review of Hokum. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I do really appreciate all the love and support from you guys. It's been incredible. The last video I put up has completely surpassed my expectations. And if you did enjoy this video, please hit the subscribe button and leave a comment of what you think of my videos and this movie if you've seen it. I would really love to have like a bit of discussion with you guys. So thanks for watching and goodbye. Two for flinching.